welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Carly. I am a homeschooling mom to 3 boys ages 6, 9, and 11. And today I just wanted to show you a few items that we use almost every single day in our homeschool. They're items that make our day easier or more fun. They're definitely not something that you need to have a successful homeschool, but I think over the years we found that these things make it easier to get through our homeschooling day, and we find ourselves grabbing them and using them almost daily. So some of them are going to be very, very basic. So I apologize. You'll probably be like, hey, come on, that is simple and I've used those before. But sometimes you just don't think about these things until you see or you talk to somebody else that's using them, and then you're like, of course, why haven't I thought of that before? So I thought I would go like from the very basic things we use to the not so basic things that we use. So with that being said, let's start with the very basics. And I will say, these are what get used every single day in my homeschool, clipboards, which is, you can get them anywhere. And I know if you grew up in the public school like I did, or going to a traditional school like I did, you use clipboards. They're nothing new, nothing, fancy, but my kids use them constantly for like artwork, for schoolwork, for rainy, cold days when we want to sit by the fire in our living room instead of at the dining room table and do our schoolwork. We're constantly pulling these out. If your kids are like mine and they like to do those draw with me videos on like YouTube, almost always they are like, okay, do your drawing and then outline it in black Sharpie, which ends up on whatever surface is underneath of their picture, unless there's something underneath of it. So as you can see, these are very, very well loved. My kids grab them all the time, and we use them for all sorts of different things. So do yourself a favor if you don't have them yet, and just grab some basic clipboards to always have on hand that your kids can grab anytime that they need them. So the other really basic thing that we use daily is whiteboards. So we have this big one behind me here, which my kids will use a lot. I use it a lot for my 6-year-old when we're practicing writing our words, or in our curriculum, my kids have to, I'll dictate sentences to them and they have to write them out. So we use this bigger whiteboard a lot, which on the other side is a chalkboard, which we use sometimes as well. But my kids also have a lot of things within their curriculum where they have to write things out on a whiteboard, whether it be for math or for language arts. And so I have these 3 whiteboards, just simple, basic, nothing fancy whiteboards that we use on the daily, and we love them. So again, if you don't have simple whiteboards for everybody in your house, I would very much recommend it, because it's nice for everyone to have their own, and they will get used for sure. I guarantee it. Okay. So another thing that you probably already have, but if you don't, if like you're just starting your homeschooling journey, is I've found over the years, especially if you don't have like a dedicated homeschool room where you're like all of your materials in it and you also do your schoolwork in it, is a like utensils caddy, which is, this one's nothing fancy. I think I got it at Goodwill. And I think it was originally meant for like a picnic type thing with like forks. You can put forks and different things like that in it. But we use this, and it's so nice because we can take it to our dining room table. We can take it into our living room, wherever we're doing school, if we're doing it on the back patio. And it has all the essentials like pencils and scissors and a ruler and dry erase and just your basic things to do most of what you're going to need to do within your school day, all in like one convenient thing. I have seen like really fun ones that are like round and they spin and all sorts of stuff like that. So anything really works, but if you have just like one that you can grab and take around, it makes your life so much easier throughout the day, especially if you can have like 1 or 2 kiddos who's on pencil sharpening duty, and just to make sure that everything within your caddy stays like ready to use. That's helpful as well. Okay, so those are like my basic, yeah, we probably already have those in our homeschool, but if you don't, I would recommend those things. Some of the other stuff that we use daily, I've said it on a couple of my other videos before. We do, we call it gather round, where we sit down together at any time during the day where we're doing like our Bible and our poetry and usually some other books as well. So within that time, we always do some poetry, and we switch out a lot of the books, but these are 2 books that we use, we love every single day throughout the year, and those are these poem books. So the first one is called A Whale of a Tale. My kids love this one. It's a funny poem for each day of the year, and they are very short, and it's a great way to just like introduce your kids to poetry without feeling like it's taking up a ton of your day. So we use this every single day. I'll put a link down below for it. I just got this off Amazon. And then to go along with that, we also have a poetry book that's Sing a Song of Seasons. So this one is a nature poem for each day of the year. And this one also just exactly the same, short poems for every day. Sorry about the lighting. It's really weird weather at my house today, and the lighting's just, I couldn't get it right. Yeah, so if you're wanting to start to introduce poetry into like your morning basket or your gather round time or your read aloud time, I would definitely suggest trying these 2 out, because a lot of them are like silly and, you know, not too in depth to where your kids can be exposed to poetry in a fun, simple, easy to follow way. So the next thing that I wanted to show you is my older 2 boys were always working on, this is Ellie, and she loves to be in every single video if she is allowed to be. My older 2 boys are always working on creative writing, and we do have books that are helping them with that process, especially this summer. But things that they use almost every single day to help them with story writing, whether it be for fun or for school, are these story cubes. And I don't know if you can see those very well, but this one is called Story Cubes Voyages, and then we have Story Cubes Actions and the Story Cubes Classic. And what these are, they're so cool. Let me see if I can get this open. Oh, here we go. Is if you open them up, they have different pictures on them, so you could choose like 3 die or all of them, whatever you wanted to do. So if you rolled them, let's say you did like 3 of them and you rolled them, and then you ended up with a turtle, a moon, and a flower. You would have to come up with a story that includes those, at least those 3 things. And it just gets the kids like thinking about different elements in a story, and kind of like starts their creative juices flowing, and they think these are hilarious and so much fun. They probably like the Voyages one the most. So each different one has, of course, different pictures and things that are on them. And they have, you know, they're not just one-sided. They have pictures on every single side, so you roll them and you could get something different every single time. They're a lot of fun. I think you could even use them for like younger kids to just like start like telling you like orally a story by using them as well, and not just for the older kids when they're thinking about what they want to write in like a story. So we use these almost every single day. Again, I'll put a link to those down below. Another thing that we use, and these are again for my older boys, is I find that we are working on spelling right now, but I still find that they are asking me a lot of times like, Mom, how do I spell this? Or how do I spell this? And if I'm busy or I just want them to be a little bit more independent with their writing, then I'll have them write it down in these books. And what these are called is words I use when I write. And then my older son has more words that I use when I write. And these are super basic, and they each have one. So if they ask me how to spell a word, what I have them do, let me see, I gotta get to a page that he's written some in. I have them write it down in the book. So they have a lot of like basic ones that they'll already put in there, like for W, but then you can see he wrote the word would in there so that he doesn't have to ask me how to spell it again. He can just go to whatever page he's at or whatever word he's looking for and see if I already had helped him spell that word once. And then he doesn't have to ask me, and he gets a lot more confident with writing those words and looking up those words. So it tends to be the words I use the most. And then my older son, who is going into 6th grade, his just has, you know, more complicated words. He didn't write anything on that page, but he has written quite a lot in here. And we have had these books for going on 3 years now, and they still pull them out and use them every single day when they're writing so that they can, you know, reference how to spell words. Sometimes they think they know how, but they just want to double check it. So I would highly suggest these. These are something that actually I was introduced to when I was working in the public school system, because they use them as well, and it's something that I really like. And I definitely think every kiddo could benefit from having one of those for themselves. To go along with that, I'm also trying to get my kids to start looking up the meanings of things instead of me always explaining it to them. So we use this illustrated dictionary, again, almost every single day. This one's from Usborne, which is now Paper Pie, I believe. And I like this one because it's, you know, designed specifically for kids, so it does have a lot more pictures. But I would say this has like most of the words that your kiddos would probably be wanting to like look up. Or again, if they're looking like how to spell something, you could definitely say, hey, look in the dictionary, let's see if we can find it, and then let's write it in our more words that we use books. So then they're like getting to be exposed to it in, you know, different types of ways. So we use this a lot, and I would highly recommend, even if you don't get this specific one, to have some type of dictionary available to your kiddos that they can grab as they need. And it's really good for them to just be familiar with like looking up a word, learning how to look it up, you know, within the alphabetical order that it goes in, because that's a skill they're gonna need, you know, for the rest of their lives. Okay, moving on. These are some of the manipulatives and things that we use almost daily. So my older boys, this is a 2-sided board, and I think I got this off Amazon. So on one side, it's addition, and then on the other side, and this is the one we typically use a lot, is your multiplication fact. So if my kiddos are having a hard time remembering a specific multiplication fact, they can quickly look on this board, or they can check their work if they need to. So we use this almost daily, and it's just available to them as they need it. Along with like the math type stuff is this little clock. I think I picked this up at like a homeschooling store one time. We've had this for years, but I love it. It's by Learning Resources, and it does like spin around. And for all of my kids, as I've taught them to tell time, we use this one a ton. So another thing that we use for math almost daily is these counting sticks, which they have counting sticks, and then they have like little like numbers that go along with it. So this has been like perfect for my my son who is in kindergarten this year, and then going into 1st grade. I'm sure we'll use them again. Even my older boys will do like little problems for him on the table, and then he'll work them out as just a nice little independent activity, or to add to like your math curriculum. And then, of course, I'm sure a lot of people use these as these math cubes. We just have a big box of them, again, from Learning Resources. And we use them for math a ton, but we also just use them like to play with. They'll use them like while we're doing like our read alouds. They'll pull them out and like play with them and build things with them. So those are definitely a daily thing that we use. So along with like the manipulatives, and I think I showed these on another video, but I wanted to show them to you again because they are something we are finding we use daily in our homeschool, is these little pop-it letters. And so you can link them together. Well, this isn't going to make a word, but you'll get the idea. So you can link them together like I just did, or pull them apart, and then you can pop them down. So you can build different words, you can practice your sight words with them. They come with the whole alphabet. There's tons of them. And so we use those, like I said, we're working on learning our sight words, so my son is building them and then popping them down. And then we use them also for like our spelling words and different things like that, and those have been a lot of fun for my kids. And then along with that, we also use these little spinning wooden things as well. So like you can see how you can change one letter in a word to make it a new one. I think it might be upside down. Yeah, there we go. So we have a bunch of different ones of these as well. And they will like pull these out and use them, and it's, like I said, it's great to see how the vowels in the middle, and you can change one consonant to make a new word. So those are something we're using daily right now, especially since I had a kindergartner last year and he will be a first grader. I know we'll still probably use these. And then along with that, I have showed these before as well, but I love them and we've been using them a ton, is these Sandpaper Letters. And these are just like a tactile thing. So if you're learning how to spell or form your letters, they have sandpaper on them, or the feel of it, so that it's, you know, more of a tactile learning thing. And it comes with all of the uppercase and all of the lowercase letters to work with your kiddo. So those have been super helpful in working on our words and our letters this year. Okay, so that is all of the things we use on the daily, except for I wanted to show you one more thing, and this thing is something that I think is super popular right now, and I didn't think with having a 6, 9, and 11-year-old that I would like jump on this train with like buying one, but we went ahead and bought a Yoto, and I will say that I do not regret it. We use this every single day. This is not sponsored. I'm just telling you that I didn't think I would use it with having older kids, but my nephew had one and my sister-in-law was raving about it, and so we went ahead and grabbed one, and we have been loving it this whole school year. So it has like Yoto radio, which my kids think is funny, and they use it every single day. You can also, like with the app, they have different like podcasts my kiddos can listen to. A lot of them are very educational, like history ones, and all sorts of different choices, and they're all like child friendly with no ads, which I appreciate so much. So I would highly recommend getting one of these if you don't already. I think that you will use it in your homeschool. I just wanted to show you also, because like I said, I was nervous that it wouldn't be for like my older kids, and then I started searching, and like especially for my 6-year-old, something that keeps him busy while my older ones are working and he's already done with his work is like we got the whole like Magic Treehouse series, and he can just like pop it in the Yoto and listen to a story, and it's a chapter book, so it's not just like a, you know, a quick little book. He can sit and listen to it while he plays Legos, and he's getting a story read to him, and it's a story that's gonna last more than just a few minutes. So we got that one. That was like the first one we started out with, and I was like, yes, I love this. This is gonna be good for us. And so then we went ahead and got some more of like their educational ones, which we got Meet the Pirates, and then this one is Meet the Ancient Egyptians, and this one is Meet the Ancient Greeks, and Meet the Ancient Romans. And then these ones are fun, and my kids love them too, is Horrible Histories, and these ones are like the woeful Second World War, Rotten Romans Busted, Vile Victorians, And these are all like, here are all the nasty bits. So just like different stuff like helmet hair, driving you potty, try night today armor. Just like really silly stuff that they think is fun, and it's packed through full of history, but like in a fun, kid-friendly way that's also been good even for my like 11-year-old, soon to be 12-year-old. He thinks they're great. And so this is something they can do independently. We've taken it on road trips with us, and I would definitely say it's worth the investment, especially if you're like us and you love to travel and do school. You'll find this is friendly and helpful even for when you have older children as well. So that is all of our things right now that we are finding we're using daily and we love. I hope this was helpful. I hope maybe you saw something that you hadn't thought of before for your homeschool that you can pick up for next year. And as always, I appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!